He was pissed to say the least. When he finally left, we called the cops and they followed up with a wellness check. Turns out he was just a dummy. Still blacklisted him on the computer. Gun shop employees of Reddit, what are some red flags that have caused you to deny a sale of a firearm? Guy walked in wearing a bulletproof vest. Never bought a gun before, better look safe and experienced. I like it when they make it obvious for me and, hopefully, joke about shooting at schools or protesters. It happens more than you would think. Also, don't send your friend you were browsing with to try and buy the exact same firearm that you wanted 15 minutes after I told you I couldn't sell to you. Our range rents out firearms for trap, skeet shooting. Had a lady come in asking strange questions like does it hurt if someone gets shot with it, and also acted weird when she answered a call, and told the person that she was at a coffee shop. She left, and we called the cops to file a report of a suspicious person. I used to work in a large outdoors retailer. I had a man come in for a gun that refused to give me his ID. Also didn't want to give me his name, address, date of birth or any other info. He said he should just be able to answer the questions on the background check, and that should be all I needed. Sale denied. Former gun shop employee here. An automatic ejection from the store was when the customer asks which kind of firearm is effective for harming or killing people. I've personally called the police on a few sketchy buyers. All came through with having warrants or issues. My boss didn't take this kind of stuff lightly. We had short team meetings every week to ensure everyone understood what went on. He was an excellent boss. Back when I used to work behind the counter, I had a guy who wouldn't stop sweeping customers and employees with the muzzle of firearms he asked to see. I warned him several times to stop. When he deliberately aimed it at a customer, I immediately took the pistol away and kicked him out the store. That kind of unsafe behavior is something I won't tolerate, and I certainly denied sales back then, and I will deny training if I see it on the range now. Finally, one that I can answer. I was living in Alaska for a year and picked up a part-time job in the winter as a gun counter clerk at a national sporting goods chain. One slow evening a kid comes in, by kid I'm talking college-aged, and starts staring into the pistol case. I ask him if he wants to see one and that I'd need his ID to verify his age etc. All's going well, it's obvious he's new to guns. I ask him what his intended purpose in use was in order to find what might suit his needs. He says he wants a cowboy-style gun and all he wants to do is to go shooting to let off steam, that his mom teases him for always being on the computer, and growing up a pussy. The more I talked to him the more I realized he was just a closet weeboo. My brother's a full-on weeboo, so I told the kid about how they had a big group of friends who met once a year during AX or Comic-Con SD. Kid was straight up starry-eyed, told me he wishes he knew people like that if he had friends like that he wouldn't have bipolar issues. In the end I told the kid not to buy a gun, save up his money and get out of Alaska. I swear I've not had a happier customer. Dude didn't even buy anything. I worked in a gun store for about a year and a half. Had a couple guys come in asking for cheap firearms. Okay, no big deal, people are on a budget, been there. So they give me a price point of about $250, again no big deal. They want a handgun, not a revolver. Showed them a used High Point, Canik, and a couple of cars and a Keltec. They ask me to disassemble to see the serial numbers. Kinda weird, but figured they just wanted to make sure the guns matched up or something like that. Then I overheard them talking about blacking out the serial number. Ask them why they want to black them out and if they know it's illegal. Say that they wanted untraceable guns. Nope, told them to leave. Already posted one here, but another doozy was sketchy bloke comes in and wants to look at lever action shotguns. Before it even left my hands he's smashing the lever as hard and fast as he can. I asked him to not do that and had to explain to a grown man why it's not okay to roughly handle a brand new anything that you haven't bought. He's got one of those 5-year-old kids, he keeps interrupting us talking cause he wanted to hold the gun. I turned my back to double check the price, and when I turned around I'm looking down the barrel of the shotgun. The father handed it to his kid and heard the click of him dry firing it at me. Ripped it out of this kid's hand, and told the dad to get the out, and dad starts abusing me cause I hurt his kid's hand when I pulled the shotgun away. Having his kid dry fire a shotgun in my face isn't that big of a deal apparently. Obvious straw purchasers. Duda asks all the questions, and does the shopping, and dude B, or girlfriend, wants to fill out the background check and pay for it. Get out of here. Edit, a lot of comments about gifting, what I'm talking about is something different. Imagine a couple people showing up that just enjoyed some meth, or brought in a cloud of weed along with them. I'm not talking about a dude and his girlfriend picking out a gun for her or something. Edit 2, some people are complaining about my weed comment. I don't have anything against it myself, but it's illegal to own firearms and smoke weed. I wasn't being hyperbolic, people actually come in smelling strongly of it. If you smell like weed but mark "No, I don't use any illegal drugs" on the 4473 federal background check form, then I no longer feel comfortable selling to you because the rest of the responses could be lies too. We get lots of people who use us for transfers. They buy online, and then the gun comes to us and we handle the background check. One guy had done a transfer with us previously, and I got a bad feeling about him. Nothing concrete, he just bugged me. A few weeks later, he called again for another transfer. The gun was coming from Alaska, so I told him it was going to take a bit longer than usual and I'd call him as soon as it arrived. The next day, he called wanting to know if I had a tracking number yet. I didn't. The Alaska FFL only did business by mail. How the hell a letter was supposed to get to Alaska overnight, I know not. Again, I told him to be patient. Fast forward a week and he calls me 3 times. He lets slip that the dealer in Alaska won't talk to him and he needs me to be the go-between. That's a red flag. Sellers normally communicate with buyers. He was acting really sketchy and impatient, so I had decided to deny the sale. So, I called the dealer because this was getting sketchy. The dealer told me he canceled the sale. Interesting, never had that happen before. The dealer said, and I'm quoting here, "That guy is a serial killer in the making." He'd harassed the dealer several times a day starting on the day he ordered the gun. The dealer said the guy knew the sale was cancelled because he told him and refunded his money. That settled it for me. I wasn't interested in handling any transfers for him. When I finally blocked his phone number, 2 days after talking to the dealer, I had 35 missed calls from him. Paperwork accuracy is a big issue. It has to be 100%. If your government-issued ID doesn't match the info you put on a form and you don't have any of the allowed supporting information, then no gun sales to you. Had one guy come in only with the title to his car. No government-issued photo ID. He spouted some BS about sovereign citizen blah blah. We took his info and blacklisted him on the computer. We didn't want to be associated with that type of folks. We would also ask what the intended use was for, and lead them with a certain hunting season. An example would be, "Okay, why do you need a .22 rifle, going to hunt some deer?" If they would answer yes, no gun. The .22 rifle, while capable of killing a deer, is not allowed in our state's hunting regulations, or any that I know of. Big red flag. We had a protocol that if we got strange customers, like folks asking for 1 bullet, seemed like they were just trying to get any gun, making threatening statements etc., we would make them fill out their section of the 4473 form, photocopy their ID, then deny the sale. This way we could involve law enforcement as needed. If we just told them no, you have nothing else than a bad description, and some security camera footage. The one that really sticks out is the guy who, in the course of small talk, feeling out the customer, asked if he could walk out with the gun that day. We told him that if the paperwork was acceptable, and the background check came back as a procedure, then he would be able to. He follows up with a "Good, now I can ice my bitch of a wife." We had him do the paperwork, copied his ID and denied him right there. He was pissed to say the least. When he finally left, we called the cops and they followed up with a wellness check. Turns out he was just a dummy. Still blacklisted him on the computer. Like and subscribe for more funny, interesting, and scary r/ask Reddit videos.